friends of Monday Madness, and welcome back to the Jellyfield Donut podcast.
Ahoy there!
Ahoy! Ship ahoy! Yes. Look, our ship is finally coming to port because we're doing the boat episode. We're on a boat, everybody. Look at me.
Splish splash.
We're on a motherfucking boat. I love that you're trying to steer us away from all these puns. It's really good, you know. Good job, Captain. Anyway, I'm joined as always by...
This intro has really gone to the poop deck.
This episode's really sunk before it's began. On its way.
Drop anchor here and we're going to make puns for the next 20 minutes.
In that case, you can take the wheel. So
you can take the denies.
Yeah. I'll take the light bulb. I'm fucking done. Something Celine Dion. Anyway, I'm joined as ever by Burkbot and James. Feeling quite punny today, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm sure that won't be apparent at all as we do this podcast. So this is a kind of I want to call it filler arc, if I can call it that.
Yeah.
Not relevant to the gym battle, but it's a thing that's happening. And it's happening over several other episodes.
It is a thing that's like a great description of like filler.
Yeah. A thing has happened, let us deal with the thing.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't add much to the story overall, like for Ash getting all the Pokemon and beating the league. But they are still probably some of the most iconic episodes
as well as it takes in a couple of things from the game, because obviously the St.Anne is a plot in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not necessary in terms of the plot of the show, because for the whole point of the St.Anne is to get cut.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. And to rub a captain's back, which is not sexual at all. Again,
you know, I beg to differ.
Okay, Captain
most erotic thing you can do.
Alright, Captain Dildo, carry on.
That's what she named the lifeboat. You climbed aboard Captain Dildo.
But no, it was good because it introduces, as we'll find as the episode goes on, a couple of things that happen within the game.
Yeah.
And
we're even coming back on some things that were skipped over, which again we'll jump back to again
in
a wee bit. But
exactly, yeah.
No, it probably is filler because nothing over the arc, nothing substantive happens, but where Ash ends up at the end of an episode is different than where he started.
Yeah, it's a two-parter in that sense.
Yeah.
And, well, actually, in essence, what we're going with is a four-parter, really, if you...
And also, it's just fun.
It's just fun. Yeah, it's a bit of crap, lads.
Yeah, it is one of the things that's like, oh my god, I actually loved this episode
when
I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there are some two-part episodes that are filler galore from start to end. Like the section in between Ash getting his last badge and him going to the league is like 8 episodes where nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. Because he realised...
Spoilers!
Because he realised, fuck, 96 episodes. No.
Fuck! Well, we don't want him to win this.
Yeah, so... Anyway, so we'll jump right in then and start off our episode, which is with a beautiful sunny day in Vermilion City.
Look, they took 10 episodes to get here. They might as well
enjoy the sun,
relax here while they are.
They got good weather.
Get a couple of episodes in Vermilion City. You know, you've taken enough time to get here. Have a couple of episodes based on it. Oh wait, they're on a boat.
Can you imagine how annoying it would be to like leave Vermilion City immediately after getting there?
Yeah, like the immediate smash cut to Lavender Town.
Yeah.
For no reason. It's like, anyway, Ash got his shit together and got a map. A really good map this time.
A GPS.
Yeah. Turn left onto Route 7.
Stay on the footpath.
Please make a U-turn around the Snorlax when safe. Dark tunnel ahead.
Anyway.
So yeah, narrator catches us up on what's happened, which is Ash beating Lieutenant Surge for the Thunder Badge.
Yep.
Ash shows off the Thunder Badge up to the sun, and like he's really happy about it because of course he is. It's pretty much the most like legitimate battle he's had so far, really.
Yeah, I mean,
by and large.
Yeah, to be
I wouldn't
fair.
say most legit. Like this is one he genuinely won.
Yeah, he actually did accomplish something, or at least the Pikachu thought a way around it. You know, between the two of them, they got something out of it.
Yeah.
So they pearl the new badge as they cross a bridge, and they notice a giant cruise liner at dock, with the narrator pondering, has Ash's ship finally come in? Or is he cruising for a bruising? I love the narrator here because he's hamming it up so much. He sounds like a really shitty like wrestling announcer.
Yeah.
where like someone like you see this sometimes at all wrestling where they got TV people in and are trying too hard to like
to be wrestling people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get like, and it happens tonight at the Royal Rumble 2007. It's like, oh no, babe, have a fucking day off. Like you're trying too hard. Who will be the king of the ring? It's like, stop, mate, just fucking go away. So yeah, we get our title screen after that then, and we see sailors and other people out by the dock as Ash wonders what it would be like to be on a ship like that. Instantly, Misty dreams about sunbathing on deck all day. Nice long relaxing cruise, and then Brock immediately gets him back down to earth saying, yeah,
You're poor.
Yeah, we're all poor. We've no money. We're literally busking our way through Kanto. Like a fucking dancing barbershop quartet. They walk off disheartened that they'll never be on it, but get interrupted by two schoolgirls with fake tan, dyed hair, wearing skirts and jumpers. Anyone hazard a guess who the two schoolgirls actually are?
Are they from the school a couple of episodes back? School of Hard Knocks?
No. Good guess though.
They weren't students from there?
No.
I think they were.
No, they weren't actually, no. Well, technically, yes, you are quite right. They were students once upon a time. It's actually the old guy still going like, Caterpie to Metapod to Parasect. Fucking king, that is wrong! He's on the cruise, we just never saw him.
Yeah.
So, they say the team have earned a sea cruise as opposed to a land cruise.
But the weird thing is they keep talking in weird, this is
you
how
know,
the kids talk. And it's like
Yeah.
they've only ever seen it written down. So
Fucking-
it's like radical dudes, you've won a like totally cool cruise ship, guys, radical cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, like you're definitely old.
Yeah, this is it. Like that's what we're
It's
going.
like-
We're getting at.
It's
here.
like
Buscemi.
us trying to make a TikTok.
I was about to say, hack a fucking Steve Buscemi off them.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you do, fellow teens?
That's what it is. Like it is a case of like if someone tried to like read a TikTok, that's what it would come across like. It's like no, that's not how this works.
So I do a WAP. Yes.
Walking around people.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Walking
that's what it
around
is.
people, yeah.
Yeah. So are you sure? Like, I actually don't know what that is. So I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
Sure.
It's nothing to do with geese, is it?
Move on.
Yeah. Okay. So you're on a sea cruise. They look oddly like Jesse and James. So any of the people that were looking forward to seeing gender bent James, congratulations, you've got there already.
Your bingo card.
Yeah, just saying, it's just the first time we've seen
Gender bent James.
cross-dressing.
Yeah, this is the first one. This is the first of many, unfortunately.
First of many.
Yes. So yeah, we'll call him Jane for the time being. Or Jamie. Jamie's a nice curly gender bent name. Yeah. So they say they've got these incredible tickets for their biggest party ever on board the famous St.Anne. Because again, they're kind of tilting into the Californian accent.
Yeah, but like the really bad stereotypical. Well, I don't know if stereotypical, but it's what I imagine every Californian teen sounds like.
Cannot
You're
stand.
basing that off an SNL sketch.
To be fair, no.
The Californians.
Californians.
Yeah, no way. No, I can't stand the California accent. It is my most hated accent in the world.
Cork.
No, I don't like Cork a bit now. You get a bit of laugh at the Cork one. But no, California
That's if
is
Kermit was
like,
from Cork.
Belfast.
well.
Well.
Zip.
Keep it quiet.
Stadler. Before we started, we were trying to figure out what's the best Pokemon to say in a Northern Irish accent. We've got two contenders.
Yeah, I think Dunsparce.
Dunsparce or Stadler. Let you people decide at home what's the best Pokemon. Marl. Aye, Marl. Azumarill. See you, Azumarill. This day and age. But yeah.
Gyarados.
Gyarados. Articuno. Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, they've during all this conversation, James's only role is to go cool, and he just pipes in every single time. It's like a repeating emanation of him going cool. He's like a fucking alarm clock. Cool.
It's like, this is what girls do. I've seen it in animes.
Cool. Yeah. So while I'm doing this text, you just interject every time. Just saying, okay? So you get you fully immersed in this lampoon, okay? So we've got these incredible tickets for the biggest party ever on board the famous St.Anne. Cool. James keeps interjecting to say cool, as Jesse says it's the coolest ship on the sea, and everyone would be together having the coolest time, and it's just for Pokemon trainers. Cool. Jesse says it'll be radical.
Cool.
As Ash says, asks Missy, has he ever heard of anyone that still says radical? Jesse tells the dudes to take the tickets. Brock says they'd love to, but they don't have the money. However, Jesse tells them they're free, absolutely free, totally free.
Cool.
Ash says, ask why they're giving them away, but she says they have to go with their boyfriends and they don't want their cool tickets to go to waste. She says, cool. They stole the mark, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I know.
Fucking hell. You haven't trained them right, man,
No.
honestly.
Not
You
enough
need more
badges.
badges. That's what happened there. So she says they saw them and thought they were cool. So she's asked just to take them and have a really cool time. Cool. Fuck me, man. He's so fucking like fucking Jesus Christ. Ash takes them and says thanks as the two speed away and skip into the distance. Cool. See, that's good. You see, he improvised that. Yeah, you see every now and then. Yeah, he's good. He did a bit of work now.
So
fairness.
can I go back to normal now?
Yes, you can.
Fantastic.
That's a good boy.
Your vocal cords the rest.
Now you know Burkbot's pain for going Charmander for an hour.
Except I did it for that whole episode.
Yeah, commitment is maximum here. So everyone is trying to find the St.Anne as they seem to have found it as Jesse and James peek behind the bushes, still in costume. Shut up! Jesse is happy to see they've fallen for the trap, but James is more interested on if he's the coolest looking girl. Jesse hits him with a mallet, solving that issue, telling him to stop acting like an ignoramus. Because clearly, like
that word I've only ever heard in like cartoons.
yes,
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a real word.
Like Simpsons, I think, uses ignoramus.
Yeah,
Ren and Stimpy and...
But like
Ren and Stimpy, I know.
it never even caught on like as an insult in the schoolyard.
But it's not though. It's such an unwieldy word. It's like what Americans like use because they don't know the word cunt.
Yeah, fair
You know,
enough.
kind of way, like
Yeah.
like Americans are got shit at insults. No offense, Americans, but honestly, you're like, God, you're such a dweeb. It's like dweeb. I'll call you a fucking
You
gay bag.
nerd! I'm like, yes, I am.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's like, that's not an insult to people. Gay bag, on the other hand, that's a fucking insult. Are you writing any of this down? I want Californians to be saying gay bag by the end of the week. You're such a gay bag.
Like, totally such a gay bag.
You're such a bell end. Yeah, because they split the word.
You absolute bollocks.
You're a ball bag.
I mean, it's not even that hard to imagine Californians doing that. Just think of D4s trying to...
Oh, D4 is going absolute mad heads there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely sending it.
Absolute bollocks.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, Tristan, lay on them.
Absolute bollock last
Oh,
night.
you absolutely slayed him, Tristan. Oh, my God, I have to tweet this. Oh, what a cunt. Anyway, that was our impression of...
Poor Tristan.
I hope you enjoyed our impression of young Fine Gael there. Subscribe for more. So she drags them to a lighthouse where they change back into their rocket outfits. Quick change from the makeup and dye hair, by the way. So Meowth says that they got a call from the boss. A silhouette of a man in a
Finally,
red
we've
suit.
gotten word
Yes.
on who the boss is.
This is supposed to be Giovanni, but he's not revealed just yet.
Yep.
He's just mysterious and modulates his voice.
He hasn't figured out the zoom settings to get his face on screen.
Yeah, that's what's happened. His mic isn't fully plugged in.
Yeah.
No, he had a call earlier on in the day with the girlfriend, which is why the camera kind of panned down.
Oh, yeah.
And he
Crop
just
shot.
didn't adjust it for like, okay,
No.
back to work settings.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. It's like those awkward like Zoom things you see where it's like someone's trying to work and then like their boyfriend, the bollock naked, walks past. It's like awkward. Giovanni's mother just like kind of comes in going, Giovanni, time for your pizza. It's like, fucking mother, I'm trying to work here. Fucking hell.
Pandemic.
Honestly.
Have you fed that Persian? Did you take the pins out? You left the immersion on!
Christ. To be fair, that would completely fuck Team Rocket up completely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Giovanni isn't even the boss; it's the mother. It's like a proper mafia boss system.
I think that was the case. It was like Giovanni's in one of the films later on. Now I haven't seen that far into it, but I do think it was something like Jesse's mum or
Oh yeah,
Jesse's
just
mum might have been high up in
Rocket. Yeah,
Like,
That's
might have
right.
been higher than Giovanni.
Was she one of the executives or something, wasn't she? Because her likeness was used in Gold and Silver, I think.
Mm.
I could be completely imagining that, but I think you're right.
Look, we'll have to find out whenever we get to it.
Exactly. In 3 years' time. But yeah, so like...
You'll have this on record so that we know to go back
Yes, of course, because we're probably going to remember this in 2024 when we get to the fucking Johto region.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so the team is on board, says the man in the rocket, as the rockets agree in unison.
Yeah.
Persian strolls into shot as Meowth gets unnerved, because apparently this Persian is recently purchased. From
Purchase.
Yes, I know. That's clever, wasn't it? Catholic reflexes there. So Meowth, see, still got fucking counters. Really slashed him there. So Meowth thought he was the boss's favourite, but he says he's disgusted of watching them fail over and over again, and that he expects total perfection, or rather
perfection,
for like this Persian. Clearly, like the Persian was just bought just to look beautiful.
This really makes me think, is Meowth supposed to be in charge of those two?
Oh, I don't think that's how it works. I'd like to think not.
Meowth seems to have a closer like Meowth would have been Giovanni's
Giovanni's pet,
side,
really. Yeah.
But Meowth might have had a place at Giovanni's side, and now he doesn't.
The very notion of a Meowth having political power in Team Rocket is unnerving to me.
It's more that Jesse and James are such fuck ups that they are below a Meowth on the pecking order.
Now that would make more sense.
Yeah. I think that's correct there.
Yeah. Like
I'd say Giovanni had the talking Meowth come in and go, that's a really cool Pokemon to have.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that. Then these
as my translator.
These fuck-ups who have people high up that obviously need to keep them in Team Rocket because there's no other reason Team Rocket would hold on to them.
Yeah.
Other than nepotism. He's like, well, I need someone who I can trust to look after these. You're also not very good at being, eloquent and menacing.
Yeah, you're shit Pokemon, so you might as well do something else.
Yeah.
So, I do think they keep James around because they're trying to get his inheritance.
Yes, that was established,
We know he's a rich boy.
Yeah, he's a
And then Jessie then gets in because her mom's on the executive board.
Yes.
There we go,
nailed on. So yeah. So Meowth is upset, but the boss says, if you want to make me happy, make sure our latest plan succeeds. Of course, his voice is modulated, so it's like, if you want to make me happy...
This message will self-destruct.
Yeah, yeah. He's like the fucking Inspector Gadget episode cartoons where he has to read the fucking thing and the chief just pops out from the bin and gives him the note, going, "Here, thanks, Inspector." Whoop. It's like, thanks, Chief. And there we go. So the boss asks for an update on the St.Anne tickets, making sure that they're all been given out. Jesse confirms that they have been. James asks, "Is it all right that they're all given out for free? I'm trying to work out economics for the first time." And the boss says, it's a small price to pay for what he'll get in return. He says his men have already boarded the ship, and when he gives a signal, they'll take all the Pokemon from the trainers that's boarded the ship. Yep. By far Team Rocket's most heinous plan to date.
This is actually, Team Rocket is a menace.
Yes.
This is the first time that,
because we have only seen...
more than Jesse and James.
This is it, because we've seen, Jesse and James be the kind of the comedy... palette cleanser compared to Team Rocket's actual shithouse tactics of stealing Pokemon and selling them on for profit.
Yeah.
So this is this is what Team Rocket are like.
This is like the Republican Party behind the Donald Trump.
Yeah, this is
Donald Trump will get all the media attention and all the fuck up attention, whereas the Republican Party in the background, are killing
the actual reptilians.
Yeah, very political in the last little bit. Can we get that shithousery?
Alcohol will do that to a woman.
Political.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't gone towards the dildos part yet.
Well, that is a start. Thanks. I please keep this dildo free for the time being.
Okay.
When we need
no promises.
I'll have a glass box. We'll say break glass for dildo, and you can press it anytime you need. And you can tactically deploy it. You know what I mean? You don't want to burn out the dildo. Because the look on people's faces when I said that.
Let's move on. Let's
move on.
Let him scrubbing that for a little bit.
Phrasing.
So, the Meowth says that the boss is a real genius, and the boss says failure is out of the question. Team Rocket says they can do it. So Ash and company board St.Anne. Yep. They were welcomed and told where to go, and they walk into this massive hall full of trainers and some with their Pokemon out, comparing. There's stalls set up with Pokeballs and other merch and fucking Etsy stores all over the shop, basically. There's like little tells with Pokemon on them. Like you can get like, hey, do you want this Venomoth tell? It's like, no. No, I do not. And then there's like one like weird guy that likes both going, I'll have 10 Venomoth tells. Don't ask questions.
Do you have any more Venomoth?
I mean, I didn't need a towel, but it has a Venomoth on it.
I'll just take the Venomoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It just happens to have a bug on it. It's like, 50 quid? Yeah, 50 quid. you can keep the canopy. So, Ash remarks it's like a Pokemon convention, which is, I suppose, Pokecon. Please tell me that exists. They should have. That has to exist. That has to have been a thing. Jesus, I hope it is. If not, we can own it.
Yes.
We make our own.
I herefore copyright that to myself.
Nailed on. In fact, that is pretty much, that is actually legally binding because we recorded it.
That sounds legalese, yeah.
Yeah, that is it, yeah. Sweet, delicious. Anyway, so, we see two people comparing their Charmanders. Another boy shows up with a Squirtle. And we hear a voice, and we see someone dressed like a magician. He's actually, well, he's a magician, he looks like one, but... I
think that's a reference in the games, they had like a gentleman character.
Yes, that's him, yeah.
On board who you battled.
Yeah. That's what they're going for. Like, he looks like a magician because he has a big kind of long top hat and this moustache and all that. But really, he's supposed to be the gentleman archetype from the boats, from the game on the S.Anne. And I like it because he kind of cast it a bit of kind of like a southern dandy type person. You know, someone who kind of talks all like this and has a lot of bluster and whop and all that kind of thing. But no, in actuality, he's just a really nice guy with a lot of money.
Do you think he's a nice guy?
He's a prick.
I think he saw Ash coming and...
Oh, he lampooned him for a Butterfree.
Yeah.
Like he literally just gave him like the jobber of Raticate.
Yeah.
You know, although actually we'll get onto that later on because there's a few surprises about that Raticate we'll get onto. But anyway, we see them actually having a battle. So the gentleman has a Raticate and he's battling a Starmie. So Starmie does a spinning tackle. That's the two crash in midair, ends in a stalemate. Ash shoves his way to the front of the crowd because he wants to watch the battle. The magician gentleman tells his Raticate to use Super Fang, which bites and cracks Starmie's jewel open, and the Starmie faints. So straight away, by the way, Super Fang shouldn't have happened. Super Fang, what that does is it cuts your HP in half, regardless of what it is. So even if you're on low health, it'll just cut that in half. So it's really good for catching Pokemon. Raticate has a very good use in that sense. So that shouldn't have happened. But
not for killing something.
Yeah, pretty much. For a win board flashes above the magician and the trainer asks if the Starmie is okay. The man says not to be worried as it's just a practice match. And a woman in a red dress approaches the man and praises him. Again, another kind of sudden, kind of like a Titanic-esque type comparison here, isn't it? Like, it's like, oh no, I'm a woman in a dress. I'm flustered by this gentleman. So the man says to the trainer to work on his Starmie. As Ash steps up then and offers the battle his Butterfree, and the man agrees. So we see then, before this kicks off then, Jesse and James appear as waiters as they admire the crowd in the hall, excited over the thought of capturing all their Pokemon. James then imagines himself lying in a big pile of Pokemon.
Again, a lot of pincers in his dream.
Really? Well, I found it weird there's a lot of bugs. Like, you could see like a lot of like canopies and Parises and shit, like.
I'm not going to comment, because I will just...
Go on. If I speak, I'm in trouble.
He likes buggery.
So anyway, Jesse tells him to... He's there putting on the lipstick going, who's a pretty girl? You're a pretty girl. So Jesse tells him to shut up as he says they're not for him, they're for the boss. And James tactically forgot that. So then we switch to a very quick battle mode. Ash tells Butterfree to tackle Raticate. The two keep colliding in midair. As Missy wonders if Butterfree has enough to defeat Raticate. Brock thinks it's a good match. The man tells Raticate to use a Hyper Fang attack. It seems to miss. Butterfree squirms out and uses Stun Spore. Ash then goes to use Whirlwind, but the man withdraws his Raticate. The man says, the call of the draw. So this is what should have happened, right? The surprise about the gentleman is, or rather his Raticate, because it has Super Fang, it's over level 40.
Are you sure on that?
I am sure on that.
What level does Rattata learn?
That's a good point. Perhaps earlier.
Yeah.
Perhaps earlier. That would be not a bad shout. Either way, the moves would be Tackle and Hyper Fang. That's all we know of this Raticate. Butterfree, on the other hand, is not decent. It's a decent level too. Armed with a Tackle, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, and a Whirlwind. So we think it's around level 26.
Yeah.
if it knows Whirlwind. So it is a decent battle in fairness. The Super Fang and Hype, the level difference is pretty steep, but as James is about to check there, it might be a bit lower.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, do we think Raticate will win this?
Raticate should.
Yeah.
The only scenario where it doesn't is you don't know how long he's been battling. So the Hyper Fang and Tackle might have run out of PP. So if he's been paralysed, he could like just be running on fumes at that point.
Yeah. Like in the game, right in the game, the Whirlwind wouldn't do much with like this type of battle. But obviously in the series, in the cartoon, it's kind of like a ring out scenario. Yeah. So yeah, it would be kind of like a win in that sense. I'd probably like if the levels are the way it claims to be, then Raticate would totally win this, hands down. Because like one Hyper Fang to a Butterfree would kill it. No, because again, weak defense, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, unless the Raticate is in the 30s, then perhaps you make the argument a bit better. But either way, Butterfree doesn't really stand a chance here unless it's a shithouse over the powders and spores. So Ash then is annoyed that the man has left the battle. James wanders around some stalls and someone beckons him to come over to his stall.
I love this bit.
Isn't it great?
Because this is pretty much from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like beat for beat.
Yeah. I know you're going to jump in here.
Yeah.
My winning team with Zapdos and Pikachu and 4 Raticate.
Every fucking episode.
Every episode.
I still didn't fall for buying the Magikarp. I just want to point out.
You probably pressed no by accident.
And it still counts.
At that time, you don't know you're going to get access. If it's your first playing through, you don't know you're going to get a Magikarp later on. Not the worst shot to get.
No, in fairness.
But, I mean, you get it maybe an hour later, 2 hours later if you're playing the
game. At a higher level, too.
No, like...
Well, it levels up very quickly when you get it, I hear.
No, it doesn't actually.
No,
it's fucking
Magikarp's the slowest.
Yeah.
And you only get it through the old rod, which always gives them at level 5, which is the same as the Magikarp that you buy.
Yes, that's right.
It's just, do you want to get this useless Magikarp earlier in the game or not?
As I recall, actually, because the Magikarp's level 5, I think you get this one at level 10. The one that you buy. Yeah. So, like, in anything, it actually suits you to get the Magikarp off him rather than fishing for it.
Yeah.
Because then, like, that's like 5 levels you don't have to do with Magikarp.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Did you get to the bottom of the Rattata conundrum, by the way?
Yes, I did. Rattata Super Fang at 34.
34. Now, so that makes a bit more sense. If we're saying he's level 35 minimum.
Yeah.
Level 35 minimum to evolve into Raticate.
It's still Raticate wins.
Yeah, really. It's like Butterfree could get a Stun Spore in, but the speed advantage surely would be Raticate. So yeah.
So short of there being a reason that Tackle and Hyper Fang wouldn't wreck it, it doesn't make sense for the match to be called.
Yeah, exactly. So so as we're saying here, we get to this guy in the stall. James is obviously beckoned over. The guy wanted to have a look at the Pokemon in the tank. He asks about it, and the guy says, "It's the king of all carps." He's a real shill, like I love him. Called Magikarp, and the guy shows James how healthy it is. James holds it in and starts flopping in his arms. The guy says, "It's a Pokemon gold mine," and then wows James with some mats. Because the Magikarp
throw all the mats at you and then look for payment.
Basically, yeah. Because the Magikarp lays 1,000 eggs at a time. And then like 1,000 Magikarp, then building 1,000 eggs, and then there's 1,000 eggs of those Magikarp, then it's about 1,000 eggs. So after like 3...
This is just the pyramid scheme that your man got caught in himself.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, that's basically it. Like you see even in his face going like, holy shit, actually I've got a sale. I'm free of this curse. and so yeah, like the maths like add up in James's head, because even if he's selling the Magikarp $1 a time, he's gonna make $1 billion. So he immediately jumps like, oh, I could have billions of Magikarp in like 3 generations.
Cost of a Magikarp, like to feed, is what?
Yeah, that's true too. But you still make a decent profit off it. If you're doing like this guy is, selling at $100 or $200 a pop.
Yeah.
How much are you spending on kit bulls basically? Yeah, it's a tricky one. But either way, James immediately goes on a mad one here. He pictures himself sitting on a throne, gold surrounding him, sipping wine. No, he's successful now. So he's there. He's like sipping the wine and just goes, cool. And he's there. He's got the Persian now, so he's able to buy the Persian off Giovanni. While Giovanni goes and tidies his room or something. So the Shield says he normally sells this Magikarp for $100, but for James, he'll throw in some special training accessories like an egg kit, a childcare kit, and a educational kit for $300.
The educational kit is just a sign that says you shouldn't have done this.
It's just like, lol, just kidding. So like James takes the whole lot, obviously, and the Shield is delighted with this, as is James. And that's the end of the first half of the show. What a great way to end the first half, by the way.
Now, this brings us to...
Who's that Pokemon?
Do-do-do.
Who's that Pokemon?
Do-do-do.
Do-do-do.
Do-do-do. Do it right, man. Come on. Jesus. So, as is always the case, we have to do our Who's That Pokemon segment.
Yeah.
The scores currently are a little bit more elongated than normal. James, you're currently on 24.
Woo!
Well ahead.
Well.
I'm currently on 19. Well, Bertbot, 13.
I'm struggling.
Yes.
Unlucky.
And
for
it's
me.
your
We
round.
knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was inevitable.
Like,
So,
this is like my weakest, I suppose, area of Pokemon is knowing about Pokemon.
which is really a shame considering you're on a Pokemon podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it
I-
seems necessary to know what
I'm
to talk
here
about.
for the witty banter.
Yes. Thank you, token woman. So, Bertbot, it is your turn.
Yeah.
Who is that Pokemon?
Okay.
And again, you get to go first.
I
since
do, yeah.
I'm further ahead in points.
I'm hoping that if I drag out the clues enough,
Yes.
that the lead that either one of you is going to get is not going to be too bad over me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to stall us
Well,
here for the
yeah.
next round.
And for
basically.
me, I'm happy even if we don't get it in the first round, I can't be tied with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hoping either that I get it or that neither of us get it in the first round.
Okay.
Okay,
So
here we go.
I'm bagging. I'm like, everything relies on Jonathan not getting this.
First time, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is rumoured that the ferocious warning markings on its belly differ from area to area.
Oh, well, that's fairly straightforward. I think that's Arbok.
Okay.
He's right. It's Arbok.
Mm-hmm.
So no point in me even trying.
Fuck's sake!
Yes.
I thought that was like, no one's gonna fucking get that.
Clearly, someone has not been watching our Pokemon Uranium Let's Play, where we spent 10 minutes talking about Arbok. Because in that game, you can get a nuclear Arbok and it has a biohazard as its fucking chest tattoo.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Oh no!
Oh, fantastic.
Hate to see it.
Wow. So I have immediately caught up to you, James. We now have a scrap. Sorry, Bert Pop, but
I'm just here for witty banter.
You couldn't have cleared it with me before.
yeah, again, I have to admire how sporting you guys are, because like you could have been collaborators in all of this. You could have ended the Indigo League as joint champions if you wanted it, but no, you decided not to be shithouses. I admire that. So yes, moving on then to the rest of the show. We're back on the ship as Ash, Brock, and Misty and Pikachu are raiding the buffet table, and they are stuffing their faces with all kinds of food.
Yeah.
Like Brock got sandwiches, Pikachu's got chum, Misty's got like cake. No, I think Ash was eating meat. I think it was. So they're all going. They're all
It was just generic food shapes.
food shapes, yeah, like Flintstones, fucking like ham hocks, yeah. And it's just like, yep, these are all their personalities. Brock is very much a hang sandwich kite guy, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Hang
Thought
sandwich
he'd
and a
be
cup
more
of tea.
joyful donuts.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I suppose it's better than the rice fucking flavoured donuts that they eat. To be fair, actually, I think Brock is more of a crisp sandwich kind of guy.
Oh, I
I
can't
could
go
murder
wrong.
a crisp
Yeah,
sandwich.
crisp sandwich right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, there are hunky dories behind. no, let's not poke that bear. So.
Vote at our shrine.
I don't get it.
It doesn't exist yet. Bears don't. They've never existed in Kanto. They're not indigenous creatures. You know, everything else is, but fucking bears, no, apparently not. So the gentleman and woman from earlier approach them, asking if they're having a good time. As like Ash indeed says, he's having a great time. The gentleman then says the Butterfree he has is impressive. The girl catches Brock's eye as Missy tries to break his gaze, but certainly Brock has a stiffy. I'm going to call this now Brock uses Harden from now on, just to be clear. The gentleman asks what Ash thinks of his Raticate, and Ash thinks, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Why are you asking?
Trade!
Yeah, the general proposes a trade, which Ash hasn't heard of because he doesn't have friends. I'm including Misty and Brock in that, by the way.
I just realised, if we're looking to eradicate about level 41, as we were saying, Ash doesn't have enough badges to train it.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, even if he's level 34, still doesn't have enough badges to train it.
Oh.
That's why this gentleman's gone, genius. I say. He's there.
Oh, I'll trade it back to you for a price.
But to be fair, there was a pretty drastic situation at hand, so yeah, in fairness.
That might have been his plan all along. Like, I'll go in, I'll trade my high level crap.
Yes.
Once they realise it can't be used.
I've got a free Pokemon.
Charge a fee to trade it back.
That's why he's so rich. He's been doing this Lampoon for years. Because he just hangs around where all the fucking youngsters are, pretends to be their friend. Yeah. And then, again, just nicks their Pokemon, takes it back, fills up his Pokedex at the same time. Mm-hmm. Maybe has his old-fashioned, old style steampunk fucking Pokedexes. You know, it doesn't actually have a digital readout. It doesn't have a voice. It just prints out fucking fax paper. Yeah, that works. That works completely. So the gentleman says it's a very common practice and says it is a good way of making new friends. That's how Pokemon friendships are made. And all this yeehaw, motherfuckers.
Oh, I remember getting my purple cable.
Yeah.
And nobody would trade with me. Even though I had a Zapdos. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll beat the league with my Pikachu.
Did you?
To be determined.
She's still working at it. God bless. To be fair, I remember doing one trade one time, and I think I don't think you did even for a Pokemon that could evolve. It was just so it could have a thing.
Yeah.
And it was just I think it was a glitchy type Pokemon as well, because it immediately spiked up to a level 100 or something. It was just glitched. Just something bad happened to it. I was I'm gonna keep this now. Thank you.
Just remember our schools banning Pokemon and trading during on school grounds.
That was the first. That was a real pandemic. That was.
So the second
in fact, if anything, they're doing more about that than they are about the current fucking pandemic.
You could not be caught with it on school grounds. You had to go out of school grounds. So leave the monastery, go to the bottom of the hill, and cross over the road. There, you could go behind the bushes.
I think
and there's a Pokemon fight club.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it on this podcast before, but I've definitely mentioned it with you guys before.
Yes.
In our school, we used what was the kissing shed for some of the cool kids to do our illegal Pokemon card trades and Game Boy trades.
Doesn't make me laugh.
Oh boy.
You'd see the older kids coming in to get their shift on, and I'm like, what are you nerds doing in here? Playing Pokemon, don't tell the teacher.
And the gas thing is, at the time, they probably would have rather them getting the shift than how you playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because that was seen as the actual threat to good Christian values at the time. Because probably thought that Pikachu was fucking yellow Satan. Crazy fucking priests. Anyway, they're all dead now. Or in prison. So, Ash asks Brock then if you should trade.
They're trapped in Kabuto.
Yes. But Brock is too busy focusing on the woman. He's hardened up. He's fully hardened.
Focus, energy.
Yeah, he goes, yes, please trade now. Everyone must trade. Trading's great. Trading's good. Give me that tit. And then just suddenly gone. So everyone moves to a machine then where they leave their Pokemon beneath the chute. That swaps the Pokeballs over to the side. I like that there's a really formal way of doing it. It's a way of changing the registration of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Rather than just going here, cool, thanks, bye. It has to be an official licensed trade. None of this unauthorized, uncredited shit. We have to do it the right way.
I think he's trying to clone his Raticate. This is the early form of the cloning glitch.
Oh, that's what he's doing. That's why he has so many Raticates on the go. He's cloned them all.
He probably has a Zapdos and a Pikachu in his team as well.
Yeah, we don't see it on screen. But what happens is midway through the trade, he just disappears and then comes back on a second later.
Yeah,
we're yeah, cool, fine. I'm just my Game Boy knocked off.
What's a Game Boy?
Batteries, And so, the trade happens. Ash gets Raticate. The gentleman gets Butterfree.
Yeah.
And that's basically just it. They just go off their own business. We go back to Jesse and James, because Jesse is screaming at James over something and Meowth joins in. James explains that Magikarp is a Pokemon gold mine, and he says he's even got a gold Pokeball to prove it. but Meowth says it's gold plated and scrapes it off the ball, which is just like, oh, lampooned.
That has to hurt.
Yes. He just got Magikarped. Or just carped, maybe? Carped. James realises he's been tricked. Jesse asks where he got the money. He explains that he didn't have the money. There's no advance on his salary, so he took Jesse's money and spent the Pikachu Magikarp on it. So Jesse does.
How did he get Jesse's money?
Fucking Revolut, I don't know. Jesse knocks one of his teeth out, rightfully so, for like stealing stealing money and using it to buy the shittest Pokemon known to man.
Yeah.
And he demands that he refunds the Magikarp. He goes and gets it himself. So we come back to Ash then, looking out to see he's staring at his Raticate Pokeball. Missy asks him what's wrong, and Ash is worried that the gentleman is looking after Butterfree the right way. They basically traded with a complete stranger because the guy likes trading.
Yeah.
So anyway, Missy tells him to look on the bright side and say that he now has a Butterfree. He now has a Raticate, but Ash is totally preoccupied by the time it evolved into Butterfree.
Yeah.
And Pichu seems to be kind of on board with that. Like he's not.
Well, they were friends.
Yes. That's it. Like they actually did have an actual connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can kind of see their point.
We'll see how that comes into play in a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's really important that they have this connection. Like, yeah, we'll see how that lasts.
Yeah, see how long the writers remember about
Yeah.
them being friends. So yeah, we see camera screens flashing up as it seems like Giovanni's watching along. The boss says it won't be long now, and we see the door snap closed in the main hall, windows shutting, that sort of stuff.
I was wondering, was the Persian the signal that it's go time?
The Persian was actually on the cruise, and just like was.
You know, like cats hate water. He's out in a helicopter, fucks the cat into the water. And that's just like the screams of the Persian, like no.
Surely Meowth would have been better for that. Persian's clean. You just bought it. Like you don't want to fuck it up completely. You know. Like the water's not gonna be cleaner over a million already. Like.
All right, people, we wait for the cat to meow, and that's when we pounce.
Yay! There we go. Wow, he really earned that payday, didn't he? That was a quick attack, wasn't it?
Oh.
You just
Give
think...
me a rest.
Don't you fucking start with this. We're not having this conversation.
Don't break out the Fury swipes.
No, you don't want that. No one wants
Snore.
that. Yes. Anyway, so uniforms off the waiters get torn off, and it turns out they're rocket grunts. Turns out they were hiding their berets in their hats all along.
Oh yeah.
And they got these kind of like vacuum pack machines on their backs and all that. So
they're going with the vacuum motif that they've had for the last like.
To be fair, it is a very sensible tactic.
Yeah.
It does work. So James Womble is roaming around looking for his money back. Like he's completely distracted, presumably concussed from Jesse smacking him one earlier on.
Yeah.
Jesse pulls him back, saying they have work to do. They get back into uniform and they have the same machines in their back as they go do their motto on this weird glass pedestal. James isn't in it. His heart isn't in it. He goes like, to unite the world in devastation. Could I pay $200 for a fucking Magikarp? It's like, that's right.
Now, the thing is, that's like, if you're saying 100 polka dollars is the same like 100 yen.
Yes.
That's $1.
Yeah, it's a buck. Yeah, you just bought.
He's
like,
he's three.
But that's his wage.
Yeah, he's being paid. He's not even on minimum wage.
He's on €3 a month.
They are
The shittest ones.
Yeah, like they're entry level. Like it's illegal to have unpaid interns. We'd imagine, so they have to be paid something.
Yeah, exactly. It's their allowance.
Yeah,
that's what they got. They're paid off the petty cash from Giovanni. That's all it is.
Whatever the Meowth and Persians
paydays. Yes. So that's why it's literally called payday, because they're literally earning off Meowth using that move.
Yeah.
So. As I said, they get into their motto. They're kind of standing on this massive pedestal above the hall, and they say to the crowd that Team Rocket will now take their Pokemon. All the grunts switch on their machines, and they start sucking Pokeballs from the crowd.
Yeah.
We see a shot of the ship from the front, and we notice that the waves are getting higher. Again, another Chekhov's gun for this episode.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. Two Rocket Grunts demand the Pokemon off Misty and Ash, but Ash tells Pikachu to shock the grunt and goes, "Holy shit, that worked! Let's do more of that." So.
I think this is where this is one of the stupidest parts of the plan. They didn't expect trainers to defend themselves.
Who knew that suddenly, like, Pokemon trainers are not in fact pushovers? What a shocker that is. What a literal shocker.
Literal.
So, one of them is down, completely knocked out. The trainers didn't go, brilliant, so they start fighting back. But Jesse is obviously sucking all the Pokemon up, not aware that there's a rebellion happening at the time. So everyone starts releasing their Pokemon. We see the gentleman, he actually has a Squirtle as well, interestingly. But the waves are rising outside the ship again. Chekhov's going, Chekhov's going, Chekhov's going. Brock says that they have to fight together. Ash tells Pikachu to charge forward. We see a shot of the Pikachu tumbling out of the Viridian.
Somewhere?
Yeah, no, it's the same shot from the
Viridian
second
yeah.
episode.
Viridian Pokemon?
Yeah, Viridian
They
Pokemon
used to
Center.
think- yeah.
And like even the backdrop does.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the ship that looks like that.
Yeah.
It's usually from a hospital screen. And you can see them going tumbling, tumbling, tumbling. And they form a Pokemon pyramid and conduct each other. A massive thunder attack that spews across the ship, and the grunts all get zapped. And then rinse and repeat. Ash brings out Charmander, and the Charmander combine their fiery power and burns all the grunts out. Brock brings out Geodude, which forms a ring with other Geodudes. And
They do
smashes all the
Ring a
grunts.
Rosie, which is quite
Ring a Ring a Rocky, surely.
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry. I had to do that.
Yeah, no,
Sorry to
that's-
tackle you like
no,
that. Did I try?
So, what a devastating takedown.
Yes, absolutely. Double edged, I would say. Burpo wishes he could dig out of this.
Yeah.
The magnitude of our jokes is getting too much for her. Boom! Oh dear. Anyway, so a Bulbasaur pyramid whips and slaps grunts. A flock of Butterfree are stun sporing grunts as well. Ash instinctively brings out Butterfree to join in, but remembers he's the Raticate. He's like, oh shit, no. So Ash gets despondent, and during all this life and death situation with Team Rocket, this is the time to reminisce about all the good times with Butterfree.
Yeah.
Because this will save a few minutes in the animation. So Ash decides he has to get it back. So when he's challenged by a grunt, he brings out a Pidgeotto who joins forces with other Pidgeottos. All happen to be here.
They tornado.
They do. They make a tornado out of a whole lot of gusts. And one more Thunderbolt. We have to use that period animation again because it looks so awesome. Sends the grunts out of the ship. So
Look, if Digimon can reuse its animation, if Dragon Ball reuses its animation...
It's the 15th episode. People are getting tired now. Let's save where we can.
Let's be serious here. People have fallen asleep 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, let's be fair. Especially on Netflix when they're doing it. Are you still watching Pokemon? You know, like the Mexican people say, you're 28. Are you still watching Pokemon? So, Ash says they should be proud of their Pokemon for teaching Team Rocket a lesson. We see Jesse, James and Meowth crawling to escape the brawl. But then suddenly, the Chekhov's gun shoots. A wave sideswipes the ship and knocks everyone off course. The golden Pokeball rattles down the corridor and James chases after it. Another wave hits the ship and it starts wobbling. Missy notices it's a big storm as Brock says it'd be tough to get back. Because Brock is a captain, you see. Missy tries to find Ash but notices he's trading with the gentleman to get Butterfree back. All while the screen is like floating.
Yeah, but it's literally like they've got the drawing,
Yes.
you know, the scene drawing, and then they've got the camera and it's like tilt.
Yeah, they've done a Windows Movie Maker on it.
Yes.
So like in After Effects would go, my first trade. Or something like that. So yeah, the Ash basically explains that he just wants Butterfree back, just regardless.
I just want her back.
Yeah. And this is like, I know the Raticate's higher leveled and if I just let it work, it'll be fine, but I just want the Butterfree back. And John goes, fuck. The plan failed. So then we see the captain, right? The captain in this episode. Holy fucking shit. He is
Hilarious.
a dangerous level of incompetence.
Hilarious.
How the fuck did he get that? Lucky bags, surely.
Because Giovanni hired him.
I did not think of that. That
Giovanni
makes a complete
probably
sense.
planned to have the ship go down.
Did he though? Because then all the
he-
Pokemon and his grunts could have drowned.
His grunts easily would have had a way off the boat. The grunts would have been using the lifeboats, the Assastildo that we were talking about.
Ah, yeah.
But they were sent off through the Twister instead. So what
Interesting.
would have been the grunt's way out is now the captain's way out.
But the storm just sort of happened. So what could have been the case was that the captain could have abandoned ship with the grunts,
Yeah.
and all flew off in the lifeboats, leaving them stranded. The
Yeah.
storm was an accident in
Yeah.
a sense.
I
Yeah,
fully believe that.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
More, yeah.
It's a perfect storm.
Ah, very clever. I see how you twisted that way in. Clever. So, what a whirlwind of puns we have. So,
This just blows.
That's not a move, unless you count Gust.
I wasn't going for Pokemon moves because I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of fucking Pokemon moves, as is clear by my lack of winning in that. Who's that Pokemon?
She's not bitter at all, is she?
Oh no.
No, not one bit. So, the captain's getting crowded up by guests who says the high seas have pushed him off course, and he says that they're heading back to port now and the ship is unsinkable. Mm-hmm. Whatever happened to unsinkable ships? You know, I wonder if this is some sort of like historical event that we can draw a reference to here. Oh, what? Actually, can anyone hear Celine Dion singing in the background there? That's odd, isn't it? Anyway.
It's not Anya.
No, because unfortunately in this case we can't sail away.
No, I'm drawing her like one of my French girls.
Yes. So in fact it's so unsinkable that after a little wave smacks the side of it, the captain tests out one of the lifeboats just in case. And you see him just like just slowly lowering, and the crowd all realise what's happening and they start rushing onto the same lifeboat, which is great. Misty and Brock tell Ash the ship is sinking, but Ash wants to finish the trade. Another wave hits, and just as Ash gets Butterfree back, the ball is knocked out of his hands and rolls away. Very similar to what's happening with James, you see.
Yeah.
Ash chases after it, and we see James chasing after his golden ball, so we immediately see the comparison. We see the bulk of the crowd in lifeboats watching the St.Anne topple further. Ash is chasing down a corridor for the Pokeball, and they get knocked into a door, and as they grab Butterfree. And as James grabs his Magikarp, they get knocked back. The ship officially capsizes as the captain asks everyone outside that if anyone didn't make it out safely to please raise their hand.
Great, everyone's here.
Everyone's here. Perfect. Let's all sail to safety. Holy shit. Please tell me he was a plant from Rocket. If not, that man needs to go to prison for negligence.
Yeah.
On a grand scale. Either way, the captain says, well done, and everyone is safe, and they all presumably get swept to their deaths. But the narrator reminds the captain that Ash, Brock, and Misty, Pikachu, and Team Rocket are all on board. As he says, he has a sinking feeling as the St.Anne heads towards the bottom of the sea. And then we get like what would be a to be continued in that sense, because it literally is.
This is how the show ends.
This is how the show ends. Yeah, it's over. Yeah. Red takes over now and shows people how it's done by not speaking a word.
Yeah.
Imagine that, like if that was just a sudden change. Oh, like, new character. It's like, and then suddenly
like,
just
we're
imagine
not getting
Pokemon
a lot
with
of
a new character. It's great, isn't it?
the audience aren't responding to Ash like we want. Let's just make it mute and actually competent. Okay, let's go.
It's working for the manga. It has to work for the anime. So yeah, let's check in with the Pokedex. Only one entry seen and caught though, and that's Raticate. Yeah, it's Raticate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rat.
Not as good as a Rattata.
No, it's not. As we've established. It does get an Alolan form though in Generation 7, which is basically a black rat.
Stupidest things.
Oh, the stupid cheeks on it wreck my head.
Yeah, basically. Raticate.
Raticate,
yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah. Again, there was a reason for it because whereas like the kind of Raticate's like based off your kind of generic like brown rat, you know, that type of deal. The one that everyone like has is actually probably one in the room right now, just like kind of poking its head around the place. That's probably what Tina was scoping out for later on. It knew the Raticate was coming.
Yeah, that's preempting the Raticate.
Preempting the rat, yeah. That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Like, I preempted the rat before, man. You don't like it. But of course, like Alolan Raticate is based off something else, which is a black rat, or a Polynesian rat, which is kind of like is fatter generally, and has like spikier like fur, which is part of his design as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know, so again, there's not much to say about it, lads. It's a fucking rat. Like, what more do you want, really? It's what it is. Like, you know, it's not exactly gonna break the bank about anything. So yeah, that's basically it. Our current score out on the Pokedex is 38 seen and 10 caught.
Okay.
We've gone into double figures, lads.
Yeah, double
Long
figures.
last.
I'm surprised. I was not expecting double figures.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because I completely forgot about the Krabby and Raticate thing. So I was thinking like, wait, doesn't he get like double figures like halfway through the series? I was like, no, far quicker
I'm
than
actually
that.
trying to think what ones he still has to get. There's Muck.
Tauros, I think.
Tauros. He doesn't get Lapras until season 2.
No.
What other ones are there?
There is one I'm trying to think of, and it's completely Snorlax.
No, that's season 2.
That's season 2 as well. Shit.
Fucking 96 episodes of this shite.
Fucking hell, yeah.
He never had the Sandslash. He never had like a Bellsprout.
No psychics, no. Nothing.
Oh, did he have Mr. Mime?
No, his mother has Mr. Mime fucking nailed to the fucking...
Here we go.
Has Mr. Mime nailed to the fucking bed. No, I think didn't he like adopt a haunter for a while?
I guess it was more of just like a travelling buddy.
Yeah, I know.
And then that was
I
it.
think so. Yeah. Either way,
this is actually depressing. He's got. We've got
You get a
80 more
Mikey.
episodes.
Mikey rings a bell. I
He
think he did
definitely
get him.
gets beaten up by
Yeah, he
him.
gets
Yes.
yes. for a couple of episodes.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that's right. And he gets it back then. So yeah, like again, we'll revisit this over time, but yeah, at the moment it's slim pickings for Ash. Isn't it?
Yeah.
3 more catches over the next 80 episodes.
Oh, fantastic! Look, you can just see the horizon doesn't blacken out.
Super fantastic.
Oh, that was good.
there
That
we
was a critical hit. I like that. Don't get too hyper now. So, we'll leave it at that, lads. We will leave it for the second part, which is the Pokemon Shipwreck.
There we go.
Where it's like fucking Always Sunny. The gang survive a shipwreck.
That is an episode as well.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I was actually joking there, but fair enough.
That's
Yeah,
like,
Okay, yeah.
I think they might have got inspiration from
Yeah, clearly, that's what it was.
Yeah.
They saw Danny DeVito's meowed and said, perfect casting, let's just do it over.
So
So,
tried to trade Charlie off.
yes.
Like, we don't want him. He's a rat. Please take him off.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll leave it at that then for this week. Thank you very much for listening. Feel free to subscribe to Low Blows for more. We'll be back next week with more of the same. Literally more of the same. It's just a continuation. Again, subscribe to us at Monday Madness. Follow us on Twitter to keep track of all of the hot content that we're dropping for you every single week.
Nice and hot.
Nice and hot. You perhaps may be watching this on the Nerds of Rust channel. You can listen to this on the Low Blows Network a week early if you want. And we'll see you next week, guys. I've been Jonathan. That's been James. That's been Bertbot.
See yous.
We'll see you soon.
See you.
It's an ocean joke.
Oh, for God's sake.
You see? You didn't land, did it?
No.
No.
I'll just wave.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. Sail away, sail away, sail away.